Shalom, I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School, back with the Ibaryath word of the day. I do apologize about the last video. For some reason, my sound didn't come out, so I'm doing it again. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to present the word for the day is ahaba. The Ibaryath verbal root for the day is ahaba. We always begin reading from the far right to the far left. Okay, so we'll start at the right, we'll go to the left. Okay, so far right to far left. This is the Ibaryath verbal root abaha. Its meaning in English is love. Its meaning in English is love. Let's go back and repeat. Ahaba means love. Everybody sees that it means love. Okay, so now let's take a look at the meaning of love in English. Okay, now remember we're dealing with verbal roots. Okay, we are dealing with verbal roots. So we will look at the verbal meaning of love. So words such as love can have a meaning as a noun or a verb, or a word can have another function in a sentence other than a noun and a verb. But here we see love. This is the meaning when love is used as a noun or functions as a noun. Okay, so love, let's go down here and look at the verbal meaning because we're dealing with verbal roots, right? So the verbal meaning of love, there are two here. The first is feel deep affection for. Feel deep affection for someone. Okay, here's the example. He loved his sister dearly. Now these similar words are synonyms, right? Synonyms. So we'll just click on that and we'll check out some of these words. Adore, think the world of, prize, treasure, cherish, worship, idolize. That's interesting, right? Worship and idolize. So note that worship and idolize is associated with deep affection for someone. Okay, worship and idolize. All right, so that's a very significant point to keep in mind. Okay, so let's look at opposite. All right, opposites: hate, loathe, detest. Well, let me go back up here. I want to talk about this. Okay, so the Hebraic paradigm is concrete, right? For those of you who are scholars, you are either current scholars or past scholars, you'll know that the Hebraic paradigm, the Hebraic worldview is concrete, okay? Now, this is dealing with feelings, right? Affections, deep affections, feelings. This is the Greek paradigm, right? So here we see worship and idolize for love associated with concepts that are in the Greek paradigm. So that's something to think about, okay? Something to think about, and actually, if you have time to research that out, I'm sure you'll find a lot there. The second meaning, and number two, the verbal meaning, the second verbal meaning for the word love is like or enjoy very much. So we'll look at our similar words: relish, savor, have a soft spot for, and get off on. All right. So now let's go back just to have another review, okay, before we move on. All right. So here's our Ibaryath verbal root for the day again. It is ahaba. Ahaba. Hebrew is read from the far right to the far left. Ahaba. It means love. It means love. And we just considered the meanings of love. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. I want you to come to our curses course, which is based on Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 through 29. This is part 1. Okay, this is part 1, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 through 29, where I present a word for word analysis and examination, or some people call it a breakdown of every word. I show its etymological meaning, which is its Hebraic meaning, okay, its root, its grammar, part of speech, and how the words are constructed. Okay, so that's the morphology, and I present it in a step-by-step fashion. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay, so I present it like that. This is the textbook for the course, Biblical Phoenician Hebrew. This is part of the I Can Read series of books that I've written and published, doing the same concept, the same methodology rather, for the entire chapter of Deuteronomy. So that's not Deuteronomy, but chapter 28, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 68. And in fact, let me just go ahead and show you the books on Amazon, okay? So if you purchase the books, I would like for you to purchase them on zionlawschool.org. Don't purchase them on Amazon. Purchase them on zionlawschool.org. It just works better for me if you do that. So I would appreciate that. So I'm going to share my screen on Amazon so that you can look inside of the book. So here's the textbook for the Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 through 29 book. This is part 1 of the curses course. So here's the book here, and you see you can look inside. Okay, so let's look inside the book. I just want to show you, these are some of the other books that I've written. I want to show you the format of the book to give you a good idea of what you will learn in the course. Okay, and by the way, to take the free, you get 4 free courses. You don't have to buy the book to take the course, to get the 4 free courses. You can just come in. But of course, I would appreciate it if you do buy the book, because the money that you would spend supports the work that I do here. It costs money to do all of this, not only a tremendous amount of time, but also a whole lot of money and effort to do all of this. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick, okay? So this is the look inside feature on Amazon, and I'm on the book that we use, the textbook for the course. So here you can see the table of contents. It's written in a verse by verse format. So Deuteronomy 28:15, and then 16 all the way to 29. Okay, so 29 starts on page 172, and I think it ends on page 197 or 96 or something like this. The book comes in just under 200 pages, which is what I wanted. It's small enough so you can carry it around with you in your bag. It's comfortable, or in your hand. So it's not a huge book at all. It's very manageable. Comes in under 200 pages. Okay. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28. This is this number here. That's the verse 15. That top line. These are the Phoenician Hebrew, the Paleo Phoenician Hebrew script. Okay. So if we want to talk broadly, we would talk about the Phoenician Hebrew writing system. Okay, so the Phoenician Hebrew writing system, as opposed to the language. The spoken language is Ibaryath or Ibaryath. Okay, all right. So we have this first line, which is the Paleo pictographs, right? The Paleo Phoenician pictographs. The second line is the meaning of the words. All right. Good. This bar here represents the end of the verse, and this English text right here, this is the translation or the rendering of this original script by the 1611 King James, authorized King James version of the Bible translation team. Okay, so this comes, so that's how they rendered it. All right. So let's go into the format of the book and what you will learn when you come to the curses course. So we present the Ibaryath word. So this would be the Phoenician Hebrew word. It's the Ibaryath word. Okay, we have the transliteration, which is how you speak it, the part of speech. We see how this word was rendered by the 1611 KJV translation team, and then how the gloss renders the word. Okay, we see the root word here, the Strong's number, and then we see the Strong's meaning. Okay, we see the Strong's meaning, and then we go down, we see the Brown Driver Briggs meaning. Strong's and Brown Driver Briggs are lexicons. And then we see the verbal forms that this word occurs in. You'll learn all about that in the course, and you see their meanings. Also, you learn how to deal with these words in terms of checking their accuracy and the concepts behind how this entire box is constructed so that you can then perform useful analysis, okay? So then we get into the morphology. So for example, this word has a prefix. Other words may have a prefix, a suffix, or an infix, or some combination thereof. Then there's an explanation, okay? Now, if there was more information about this word, there would be an explanation section. And at the end of that explanation section, I present a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so on and so forth, of exactly how that word was put together, what grammar rules were involved in the construction of that word. Okay, so this is a very, very comprehensive book. And if you're going to buy it, I would ask you to buy it on zionlawschool.org. Okay, zionlawschool.org. And this is the book that we use in the curses course. All right. And the book that I use to get the verbal roots from, I'll have that book ready in about, I guess, hopefully under 2 weeks. I'm almost done. It's just extremely tedious, and it's a lot of work to put this together. This verbal root index, but I'm working on it. I'll have it together, and as soon as it's available, you can get the book. It has every verbal root in the Hebrew scriptures. It will also have every Aramaic verbal root in the Hebrew scriptures. It's just very tedious, and I'm doing my best that I can to get it out as fast as possible, but it will be out. And I'm so excited about getting this book into your hands. So I'm Dr. Yasapa with Zion Law School. The curses course is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are invited. You get to come to 4 classes for free, no obligation to buy anything, but you do have to subscribe to the Patreon channel, which is only $10, but that gives you 24/7 access to the audio recordings of each class. Okay, it gives you 24/7 access to the audio recordings of each class. You can fast forward, rewind. You just cannot download because the content belongs to Zion Law School, and we ask that you do not download. Okay. With that said, I hope to see you in class. Okay, the curses class, Saturday, every Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please like and share this video. Help us get the information out. Shalom. And by the way, if you have any ideas of content that you would like for me to go over, just leave it in the comment section and I'll consider it, or come to class and talk to me about it. And then I'll see what I can do about it. All right. So everybody have a great day ahead or a good night wherever you are in the world.